appreciate that. So today I'm going to talk about prop trading, how to make $200 a day. And what you'll notice here on my screen is our prop firm from Trading Strategy Guides. And what that means is that we will fund you with our money, right? So if you have $100 to put into your trading account, it's very difficult to become a full-time trader with such a low amount of money, right? Because you can't really make a living or make $200 a day if you only have $50 or less in your account, or whatever the number is. It can be very difficult. So what a prop firm is they get traders and they will allow them, when they prove to be successful, to trade their money. Okay, and so the way that you do it is we have step one, you have to pass an assessment. That is a test where you generate a 10% profit on the account. So for those of you that are paying attention, if we give you a $10,000 account and we want to see if you can pass the assessment and the account is $10,000, how much would you need to make in profit to pass the test? What do you guys think? What would you need to profit to pass the test based off of these numbers? You have to get 10%. So what do you think? If you have a $10,000 account, what would you need to get to pass the test? Just let me know in the chat. Okay, Dan and Joe, good job. All right, Dan and Joe. Now, yes, $1,000. Okay, it's $1,000. Now, that is correct. So we would issue a practice account of a 10,000, and we'd want to see you make 1,000. Okay, and you have to do that before you lose 5%. So you have to be able to keep your losses to 500 while you're earning 1,000. Okay, so that's the idea. Now, it's that simple, and we have different funding levels all the way up to $1 million. So it starts at 25,000 and it goes to 1 million. Okay, so that's how it works, and you pay a small fee to take the test. Okay, so that's how prop trading works. Okay, now the idea here is how to make $200 a day with prop trading, and I'm using a guideline here of if you have a $50,000 prop account. Now, if you get a 25,000, you could just adjust this number to $100 a day, right? And but before you can earn that revenue, you have to pass the test. Now, one other factor here that's important to note is that you get a 75% of the profits. We allow you to trade with our money, but you get 75, we get 25. So if you make the $1,000 on the live prop firm, you will get 750 out of that 1,000. Okay, and so that's how a prop firm works. That's how the prop company makes money, and that's how you guys make money. Is we will allow you to use our money as long as you give us a percentage of the profit, right? And so that's how it works. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, we can save that to the end. But for now, I'm going to share with you my strategy here on how to pass the prop test and to earn $200 a day. So let's see if I can figure out how to do my slideshow here. So we're going to go from the beginning. There we go. And so 5 tips. We're going to just give you 5 basic tips today. And so those tips are really important. They're really important to helping with your trading. So what I want you to understand here is at the end of today's session, you're going to walk away with 5 things that you can implement to your trading that you can go out and execute right now and see a lifetime of cash flow. So yes, I'm going to be teaching you how to pass a prop firm and how to make $200 a day, but you can use this on your own trading account, whether you have $10 in the account or whether you have $5,000 in the account. It really doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter. These tips will work. So each one of these tips you can implement for instant results. And the thing about this training and the webinar that I'm going to be sharing with you today is that this isn't like a lot of other webinars that you've probably attended where it's just a boring sales pitch trying to get you to buy something or sharing a boring story or, you know, I'm sure you've been in them. I have. And it's like, oh, I'm trying to learn something. And so I sign up to the webinar and the next thing you know, it's like, oh man, this is terrible. Right. So I don't want to be one of those guys. I want to give you some really good stuff. So I'm just going to share what works and what will work quickly so that you can implement this stuff and see results right now. Okay. So just if you're trading right now, whether it's a prop firm or whether it's a real account or demo, I want you to make sure you write down some of these notes so that you can, as soon as we're done here, you can start implementing them. Okay. Yeah. Whether it's even a $5 account, you can start implementing this stuff right away. Okay. Because I want to get you to see instant results. Okay. Now, with that being said, there would be an opportunity to work with me and to work with my team if you want all of the methods that help so many of our traders pass prop tests, right? So there would be that opportunity for those of you. However, I'm not going to waste time talking about my experience and giving you, talking about my bio and all of this other stuff. I'm just going to give you these 5 tips and get you started right away. Okay. And these methods really do work that I'm going to be sharing. And that's why our students pass the prop rate test at a rate that's 5,000% higher than the industry standard. Okay. And you're definitely going to want to pay attention to tip number 5 because that will be worth it. And you'll see some opportunity to really make some big application. Okay. And, you know, some of the things you'll notice is that our students have done some of these things and have applied just 1 or 2 of these tips to see huge results, right? So Gregory really saw a big impact and he had a 353 pip move right away. And he was just so excited when he realized that following a few simple of our tips can make a huge difference, right? And, you know, you want to pay attention because I would love for you guys to have a testimony like Gregory, who was a great student of ours, so that you could get quick results just from attending a free webinar, right? So 3 important things that I want to share with you also is that if you're a trader, you might have noticed this as well, that you see a lot of junk on the internet, right? A lot of the same lame stuff. They're trying to make it seem like they have a way to be successful in trading, but really they're just marketers. And so this isn't the same regurgitated crap that you see everywhere else. And that's because they're marketers and traders second. And, you know, I have 28 years of experience, which is where this stuff comes from. And these methods, so the second really important thing that I want you to know about today's training is these methods will work for you. Okay, and I want you to really believe that and attempt to add some value here, but they'll work with you no matter what type of market you're trading. If you're trading the S&P 500 or if you're trading currencies or crypto or stocks, they're going to work for you because why? Whether you're a swing trader or a scalper, these are going to work for you. Why? Because they're universal principles of market dynamics, right? They're universal principles of market dynamics. And so if your plan on getting successful in prop firm trading, this training is essential for success because you cannot be successful without these basic methods to trading. It's just universal things, and it's not getting taught everywhere. So just because these methods are foundational and universal doesn't mean you're finding these everywhere. So you're going to be pleasantly surprised by some of the training that you're going to get today. Now, also, one of the things that I want to share with you is that if you're new to trading or you haven't ever tried a prop firm test, that is absolutely perfect as well. You don't have to have experience. And that's because we have a track record for helping beginners to pass quickly, right? We have a track record for helping beginners become successful in a very fast period of time, right? And so with that being said, I want to really lay down some foundational things that people don't understand about trading. And that is that what trading success really comes down to is the performance, right? Everyone is thinking that it's about the strategy. It's not about the strategy. It's about the performance. And performance comes down to win rate and loss size. Okay, the size of your losses and your winning percentage. Those are the two most important things that shows your trading performance, right? And so if you have a strategy and your performance doesn't line up, then you're not going to be a successful trader. So how do you increase your performance, right? That's what this 5 tips is all about today. These 5 tips to help you make $200 a day in the prop trading. Okay, so I want you to think about something that's really important. I showed a performance sports car, and that's part of this example. It's good to get your mind to think of other examples outside of trading to kind of get you to relate. But I also have this image here of an orchestra. Okay, so if you think about an orchestra, you have all of the different musicians, and they're all playing different sounds, and they're playing them all at the same time, and it was operating in perfect harmony, right? It's in perfect harmony, and it sounds absolutely amazing. I don't know if you guys are symphony people. I do like classical music, but if you have all of the instruments, you've got the violin and the piano and the brass instruments, and they're all performing perfectly. They all have to be right in sync for performance to really take off, right? And that's very important. That's very important in trading, okay? Trading has so many different elements. As a matter of fact, our course that we teach, and so Noel's a musician and he gets it, right? He really gets it. And the other example is the auto. You know, a car has so many parts, and they're all happening in the engine. They're all working together. If one of the parts breaks, what happens to the car? The whole thing collapses, right? In a trading environment, everything has to be working perfectly to have high performance in your trading. Okay, so trading has multiple components that are required for success. And so what happens if one piece of the trading puzzle is missing? It will cause every other area to suffer. Okay, now, today I'm going to be teaching you 5 tips to pass a prop firm and to get $200 a day. And that's all we really have time for in today's training. But our method has 16 different components that you have to be learning and practicing on all the time in your trading in order to be successful. Okay. And so that's one of the things, you know, when I said it's about performance, that really drives people down is because they're thinking it's the strategy. They just don't quite understand all of the factors that are involved to become successful in trading. There's a lot of things that is critical and crucial for trading success. Okay, and if one component's out, the whole thing is gone. All right, so now I want to demonstrate this for you. And so let's actually get real here and talk about performance, right? So I'm going to ask some questions here. What's your win rate? Anyone in the audience knows, like right off the top of your head, without going into any of your statements, what's your win rate? Like if I asked you that over the past month, what is your win rate? Can you tell me the answer to that? Or what's the average size of your loss? Can you answer that question? All right. Now, if you can't, that's okay. That's why you're here in this webinar. If you can, that's good. But the point is, we need to know what these numbers are. We need to know what the size of our losses are. We need to know what the sizes of our average win is. And we need to know our winning rate, right? Jose, good job. Jose said 78%. Congratulations. Good. We got some people that are in tune with their own trading performance, right? And we have to be tracking that and understanding what our win rate is. And so all those numbers are different. You got 78, 55, 40, and that's good. But you know what? Here's something that's really powerful here, and that is it doesn't matter. You can have, we got Noel at 50 and Roger at 50. And each one of those people can have a different number, and you can all be profitable with those numbers. Or you could all be losing with those numbers. You could all be profitable, or you could all be losing. So, because it all depends on how your trade management works, right? Because remember, we're talking about how we're improving our performance, right? So that's what we good. So what I like to think about in terms of someone who could possibly make $200 a day, I like to think about $200, or not $200. I just said two. I like to think about a good trader winning about 55%. Okay. A good trader wins about 55% of the trades. They have pretty accurate on their entries. They've got things down. They know they have learned their setup pretty good, right? But here we're talking about performance now. So what would happen to a good trader if they happen to bump their winning percentage by just 5%, right? What would happen, right? So again, when we look at the performance side of things, you have good traders, you have average traders, you have bad traders, but that's on one side. But then on the other side, you have great traders. I was commenting on Wilkie's comment. You have great traders, but then you have exceptional traders. Okay. And I think it's important to understand that the people that really go from good to great are those that understand performance is important, and they're tracking and they're learning and they're working on improving their performance. So what would happen? Let's answer that question. This is a good trader versus what we call a Forex master trader, okay, which is one of our students. So this would be a good trader, and we're just running the numbers. This is performance-based stuff here, but a 55% win rate with an average win of $100 and an average loss of 100 over 1,000 trades. And you might think that 1,000 trades is a lot, but if you trade every day for the course of a year, it's really not that many trades. 1,000 trades is definitely within striking distance if you're trading for a year. Okay. Now, on that, a good trader would make $10,000 in 1 year if they took 1,000 trades. Now, that's pretty good, right? I mean, $10,000 is not bad. I'd take that, right? That's good. That's good. Okay. But now let's compare it. If we bump that by 5%, just 5%, we work on our entry a little bit. What could happen? Well, now you can see our win rate goes from 60 from 55 to 60. Nothing else changes. But all we do now is focus on a 5% entry improvement. And now we're at $20,000 a year in revenue, right? 20,000 a year in revenue, just from a 5% increase. So now you're going from a good trader to an improved trader. Okay. Now let's take it one step more, right? And we talked about the average win versus the average loss. So let's take it one more step. And let's look at if you bump it 5%, but then if you can get your wins up bigger and your losses down, now you're at $76,000. And it's all doing the exact same job, right? It's doing the exact same job, but it's taking performance seriously. Okay, so that's a big difference from 10,000 to 76,000 doing the exact same work. If you're going to do the work anyways, you might as well do it right and work on increasing your performance. Now, a Forex master trader is better by $66,000. That equates to a 666% increase. So that makes a big deal. 666% just from really analyzing a couple key metrics. So small tweaks make a big difference. This isn't a huge difference. A 5% over 1,000 trades isn't huge, but it is a huge difference. It's not a huge difference in analyzing your entries, but it's a huge difference in your results. And the reason it is that way is because it's consistency. It's all about your consistency. If you do that over one trade, it's not a big deal. But if you're consistently improved, it's all about the long term. It's all about over the course of 1,000 trades. And this is a bonus tip, but an expert trader is going to be thinking longer term instead of over the course of one trade. So they're thinking over the course of 1,000 trades. And that's really the difference. I'm just going to back up here. That's the difference between this guy and this guy, because they're thinking long term. This trader is not doing the work that they need to do to get to here. And it's because you're thinking long term. Now, I will say that this to be here experience is a big part of it. But also understanding what you need to work on is another massive part of this. Okay, massive. So these trading tips that I'm going to be sharing with you are designed to increase your performance across the board, just like a sports car, right? And so this, as we get ready to start, this is what Kevin said when he just implemented one of these tips. He saw a 26% increase in a short period of time, or a $4,200 increase. And, you know, he was really excited about his growth. And he was very, very, very happy about it. And wouldn't you be? Because he just implemented a few of our tips. So let's get started with the tips. And the first tip is how to find trading entries that will increase your win rate by 5%. So that is the question, right? How to find entries that will increase your win rate by 5%. Well, let's just say that trends are critical. One of the things that really got me interested in this was when I read this book, Trend Following by Michael W. Covell. And he was talking about how to really profit from the big moves, the big trends. Okay. And when I started to read that, I was like, oh, wow, that really makes a lot of sense. And it opened up my eyes. And so let's talk a little bit more about trends. That's the first tip, is trends. I want you to think about a river. Have you ever jumped into a river and really experienced the current? Have you ever done that? It is a crazy experience because that river is so strong, it'll just knock you around and there's nothing you can do. No matter how good of a swimmer you are, no matter how strong you are, you're not going to win, right? And if you think about trading, it's the same way. You could be the great trader, but if you're getting in against the current, you're going to get beat up, right? You're going to drown. All right. So very important. It's very important to be aware of the current. It's very important to be aware of the current. Now, the problem is, and this is a really big problem with trend trading, is how do you find the trend? It might look like there's a trend, or you might see the trend, but how do you know when to actually enter the trend? How do you know when to enter? That's a big problem. And if you can't master that, then you're not going to be able to see that 5% increase in your win rate. Okay. So I'm going to share here some tips on the trend. So I'm doing 5 specific trading educational tips today, but this is the first tip, and I was just going to add 5 tips in one. So because I like to over deliver, if I say I'm going to do something, I want to over deliver in content. And 5 of the tips. First one that I think is really big that a lot of traders miss is to look at the weekly chart, right? And this is a weekly chart on the US yen with a 10-period moving average. And I think that we need to understand here that the weekly chart is very powerful and very strong. Now, if you're trading on a 1-minute time frame, you might say to yourself, I don't need the weekly chart. If you're trading on an hourly time frame, you might say, I don't need the weekly chart. But I say, and I teach our students, if you understand the weekly trend, you're not going to get tricked by fake outs. If you understand the weekly trend, you can understand how the market is moving. And so if we look at this particular chart on the US yen, this is a weekly trend, and it's really powerful, right? It's really powerful. It's a great move. And if you would simply do the simple strategy of pulling back, anytime you get a pullback, you buy. And we'll talk about how to identify a pullback. But one really quick way is, look, if it's above the 10 EMA on a weekly, you're in an uptrend. If it's below on a weekly, you're in a downtrend. It's very straightforward. That's very straightforward. Now, you can try to find pullbacks into that moving average, right? So that's number 3. You find pullbacks into that moving average. And every time you get it, you get an up move, right? And you don't have to use a weekly chart to find those pullbacks. In this move right here, there's a lot of pullbacks happening. A lot of pullbacks happening on lower time frames. So you use your weekly as your guide, and then you try to find pullbacks on a lower time frame, right? If you can do that, you will see a 5% increase in your trades, right? Now, so your trade win percentage will rapidly increase if you trade with the trend. And then the 5th tip, which is really a powerful tip, and that is the stronger the trend, the better your trades will be. So if you have all these different things you can trade, there's thousands of different stocks, hundreds of different currencies, there's cryptos, there's futures, there's all these things that you can trade. But if you trade the ones that have the strongest trends, you will see better results when you're trading the strongest trends. So I recommend that you filter through all the trades that you could possibly trade, and you find the ones that have the best trends, right? And you're going to see a big improvement. Okay. Now, the last tip here for how to find trades with trends is using trends with levels is the absolute best way to do this. Okay. So this will take you even to the next level. And so what I mean by that is you identify a trend, and then you'll just draw a level, which is a previous support and resistance. and you just find these levels and you identify them. Okay. You identify the level. And so now you're trading with the trend, but you're also trading with a level. And so you have an extra confirmation. And I like to use horizontal levels and diagonal levels. So in this case, there might be a pullback and you'll see a diagonal level like this, and it comes back down into it, and a horizontal. And so you've got, I look at it like this. You've got T for trend, level, and then I have H, and this just helps me to remember it, horizontal, and then D for diagonal, right? And if I have all of these in place, that just sets me up for a much higher probability trade. And so in the beginning, we talked about a good trader versus an excellent Forex master trader, trained trader. Well, you see what the key difference is? It's a good trader is more willing to take any old setup, but a great trader is going to take only the high probability setups, right? And so that's really, really important, that we are taking the high probability setups. Okay. And so those are some very important tips. And, just to show you how well those tips actually worked, here's one of our really recent students that started to apply this. And Andy said that he paid for his session for an entire year because he made 1,487 pounds. It paid for it for an entire year of training in just one session, just from learning one trend tip, right? Just one trend tip really helped Andy out. Okay. One tip. That's all it took. Okay. So imagine if you could take all 16 tips that we teach in our course, in our prop training, what that could do for you. Right now, before I get to the next tip, I wanted to slow down a little bit and just share one more note here. And hopefully that first tip was worth it for you guys. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, let me know in the chat. But, I honestly don't consider myself a trend expert or even a technical analysis expert, right? And I didn't become a trader to become an expert at technical analysis. But I really understood one key thing, and that is, I might not be an expert cook either. I might not be a chef, but I don't have to be a chef to cook a meal, right? And to feed someone to make something that's very good, right? So what I'm trying to say is all I need is a simple set of rules to follow, a formula, so to speak, and I can be successful, right? And that's really what I'm looking at here with trading. And that's what we've really accomplished with our system that we teach, because we don't expect everyone to be a master trader, so to speak, but we do think that if you can follow a set of instructions, you can be successful. And the way that I like to think about it is that, you look at McDonald's, and anywhere you go, McDonald's are all over the world, and you order a Big Mac and you get the same thing, right? You get the same Big Mac. Now, if you got a 16-year-old kid that's putting a Big Mac together and you eat it, are you thinking in your mind, oh my goodness, this kid is an amazing chef? No, you're like, oh, he just followed a set of instructions. He's been trained properly. Okay, he's been trained properly to do this, right? He's been trained how to make a Big Mac, right? So we really focus on you understanding this formula so well that you don't have to be an expert. You just learn the formula, right? You just learn the formula. Yeah, Chris is right. Chris is absolutely right. It's a formula. Okay, so I want you guys to try to think about that when you're struggling with your trading. So the next tip is using levels in your trades can help you grow your profits by as much as 50%. And you know, that number, I hesitate to use that 50% number, but then you realize something, that I just showed you how to increase by 660% if you apply all of the tips. So 50% isn't actually that huge as you might think, because we have a formula and we know if we make a couple small tweaks, we can make a massive improvement. So to show you this, I want to just pull up a trading account here and show you really how to do these levels, because they really do work so well, and it just makes a big difference. Okay, so I'm pulling up an actual trading platform here, and the way that you can do levels is you start up on a higher time frame, and you, like I mentioned, weekly. So I love weeklies, right? And I will just say that I had this level on weekly on gold a while ago. And so a lot of people were shorting at the bottom here. And I'm like, this is a weekly level. This is very important. And even today, look at what we see today. Today is a very important level. And what just happened? We had a break, and we're trying to break a new level. Okay. And so I'm on a weekly time frame, and I see that we're breaking a level, right? So you just go to a weekly and you draw these levels in place, and you keep them on your chart, and you identify from high. There's a high, there's a low, there's a high. So if we get a price break of this zone, which we're getting, where do I think price is going to go? I think it's going to go here, right? And that's a pretty big move. Now, this is gold, okay? But what you got to realize here is this is a weekly chart. And so is it going to go like this in one candle? It could. You know, you saw it happen here in 3 weeks. Here it happened in about 2. It could easily move. This one took more, 4 weeks to get there. We could easily see this next week. Okay. But what we need to understand is that inside of here on a lower time frame, it's going to look like this all the way up. Okay. So now, based off of what I had taught before, we need to understand that there's going to be a lot of buying opportunities on the way up here. Now, this is also what I'm talking about when I say FOMO, right? FOMO, fear of missing out. You don't need to be afraid, because we know that we have a whole week to get in here. I don't need to be afraid. This is where we're going, okay? No fear here. I got plenty of time. Look, it bounced from here to this level, and we had 4 weeks to get there. And I was taking longs all up in here. And it can be a little bit tricky. The market loves to fake people out. So even in the middle of this move, people are getting faked out. Let's draw a line here, and people are getting faked out. Okay, so now I'm going to go to a lower time frame. And if you guys hear some knocking, unfortunately, there's someone on the floor above me doing construction. Right? So here's the move right here on the hourly. Look at this. There is a ton of pullbacks here. Look at this. A big one here. There's one here, 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 here. Right? There's a ton of them. And they're all buying opportunities. And so now we might come back down here again. Right? You don't ever have to be afraid of getting into a trade, because, you know, if you want to get in on the top, it's going to pull back. A lot of times people get in at the top, they're right about the trade, they get in at the top, it pulls back and takes them out. Right? That you don't want to be getting in at the top and getting faked out. So levels, have your levels. Have levels on the top and say, oh, well, I'm going to wait for it to pull back and get in. Draw your levels. So I have the weekly levels, but then you want to do lower time frame levels, right? You want to have hourly levels. And when the price goes into the level, you have the trend. you're going to do much better. And yes, you can definitely use the retracement. And sometimes it'll go through a level like this one. It went through and it went back to the previous level. And here it went to this level again. It hit it twice, right? And that's what you call a double bottom. And that's actually part of our training as well. Not in this webinar, but we also teach extensively how to find patterns, right? So we talk about that orchestra, the high performance vehicle. There are so many different things to learn, but it's not complicated if you have a formula to go by, right? And so that's the second trading tip here, is the formula of levels. All right, now tip number 3, and this one is a big one, and that is personal integrity. Personal integrity is one of the things, because I am working with a lot of traders, and I know this from my own life and from working with a lot of traders, is that personal integrity is the hardest thing for traders. So keeping your word to yourself is what I call integrity, right? So that means if you tell yourself that you're going to only lose $100 a trade, and then you lose 200, you didn't keep your promise to yourself. Okay. Traders do this all the time because they don't want to lose. They say, I'm only going to lose $100, and then they end up losing 200 or 300 or 400. And if you don't have that type of personal integrity, you're going to not have success as a trader. Because one of the key factors in trading is keeping those losses small. And so you have to have integrity and get out of the trade when you say you're going to get out. If you don't, you're not going to make it. Okay? It's just not going to work for you. Okay? So, with that being said, one of the ways to do that is to have a key weekly review session, because the only way you're going to improve something is if you measure it. If you measure your results, you will see improvement. So you have to measure in order to get results. You have to actually go back and say, okay, I told myself at the beginning of the week that I was only going to lose $100. Did I keep my word? And then if you do, then great. Keep practicing. It's a skill. Keeping your promises to yourself is a skill. And the problem with keeping your promises to yourself is no one else is going to know about it, right? So if you don't keep your word to yourself, they're not going to know. The only way they're going to know is the fact that you can never be a successful trader, but you're probably not going to tell them that anyways. And I'm just being real here, because why? Because I work with a lot of people in trading, and they don't ever tell me that they're losing accounts. They say everything's great, but they're not keeping their word to themselves, and they're losing money and they're losing accounts because they don't have the discipline that is necessary for trading success. Okay. So the tip here is that you first have awareness that this is necessary for trading success. And then the next part is that you have accountability for yourself, and just do a review. At the end of the week, if you do it, say, yes, good job. If you don't, say, you know what? I'm not going to let myself off the hook. Don't beat yourself up. Don't call yourself stupid, because you're not stupid. Don't lie to yourself. That's even less integrity. You might have done something stupid, but you're not stupid. Not keeping your word on your trading risk is not the smartest thing in the world to do. You might have made a mistake, but it's a mistake, and you're going to get better. Hold yourself accountable and said, look, I have a standard. This is the standard that I'm going to maintain, and I didn't hit that standard this week. No one hits the standard right the first time every time. No one does. So why should you be any different? Do not hold yourself to an impossible standard of perfection. Don't beat yourself up, but just say, I didn't hit my mark. I didn't keep my word. I lost more than what I should have. But next week, I'm going to do better. Next week, I'm going to do this. I refuse to give myself off the hook on this. But I'm not going to call myself stupid or hate myself or any of that crazy stuff. Just hold yourself accountable. Okay. And then the fourth tip that I have here is a money management plan to increase your cash flow, right? And so with this being said, is consistency is so important. Okay. Consistency is so important. We are looking, when I showed you that graph in the beginning about a 660% improvement, what you got to realize is that happens over time, and that trading is not about making money right away, but it's about consistency, right? It's about consistency. So another off trading example that I want to use for this is that I am personally started running recently because I want to train to run a marathon. And in my training plan for running, I'm outlining my plan for 6 months. I'm looking to improve over a 6-month period of time. And that every single run I have a slight improvement. Because why? Because my body's getting stronger. You know, my heart's getting stronger. My legs are getting stronger. My lungs are getting stronger. And it just happens over time. Okay. And so I have a 6-month plan. And every time I improve, I see a gradual improvement. But I'm not trying to go from sitting on the couch, eating Snicker bars, watching Netflix, to running a marathon. Why don't I do that? Why do you think I wouldn't do that? Because I would literally die. Okay. I would probably have a heart attack and die. Okay. And yet in trading, we literally think that we're going to go out and do it right away. Like we just think that it's going to happen instantly. I don't know why. I don't know why in trading we think that we're going to be trading like Michael Jordan the first day. I don't know why we think that, but we do. Okay. So here's what you do. You get yourself a spreadsheet and you have a goal for trading. And every week that you hit that goal, you then slowly increase your trade size, right? You're slowly, gradually, consistently. Consistency is the key to success. It's one of the many keys. You know, remember, this is a symphony. You know, consistency. We slowly increase week in and week out. And you know what? You might have some down weeks, right? You're going to have some down weeks. I was talking to you about this running thing. I have weeks where I'm purposely scaling back, like for resting purposes. Okay. And so we want, you know what? Just slow. If you don't hit it that week, great. Just look at it over a long period of time. It's like I said at the beginning, an expert trader looks at long term. A novice trader looks at short term. Okay. We want to be looking long term. What's it going to look like in 6 months from now? And I see traders in the same patterns for 10 years. That's not an exaggeration. I see traders in the same problem for 10 years. Okay. All right. So now the last tip for this session, and you know, like I said, in our course, we've got up to 16 tips, 16 really in-depth trainings. Actually way more than that, but 16 specific ones. But knowing what the market does at what time of day is an important tool for consistent profits. Trading patterns and systems work really well, and they're great. But you got to understand that the market does certain types of patterns at specific times. Okay. And understanding these times and understanding these patterns is very important for your trading success. Okay. So get in the habit of looking at what patterns happen at specific times. So they might respond to levels at certain times. You might see larger moves at certain times. And be aware, and you can do swing trading and take advantage of that, but it's still really important to understand when the market is going to make the moves that it makes. And so if you look at the market open on the New York session, start to look at what usually happens during that specific period of time, or look at what happens at the London Open during that specific period of time, and you will see patterns develop, right? And so when you take those patterns and you combine them with all of the other tips that I've taught today, you'll be able to really see some gradual improvements. There's a lot of traders that might take one specific trade at one specific time of day, and they just keep doing that over and over and over again. So these patterns are really important, and the time of day is absolutely critical for your success in trading. And if you're trading at the wrong time, the market's always reversing at this time, and you're looking for continuation, and the pattern has shown itself over and over again, then you're not in tune with the market, right? And that's, again, one of the things that we like to teach. So those are my 5 tips for today, and I've still got a full crowd. I actually went up past the time, so I didn't time this well, so I'm sorry for that, but we didn't go past the hour. But I did want to share about our special offer we're having, so I'm not going to hit that too much, just because I went over a little bit. So let me see if I can figure out how to pop this bad boy out. Offer. Okay, here we go. So we're doing the Propathon, which is where we're trading live, myself and John. And yesterday was our first day, and today we're going. So it's not too late to enter, but it's a special sale, and the sale is going to be gone very soon. But we just click the link. You can click the link. I put the offer in the link, but the price is going to be going up here very soon. But it includes a bunch of stuff that I didn't talk about. But we're going to be trading live. You're going to see us trading. We're going to be passing a prop test. You have an option to get in on the prop account as well if you would like to. So, we'd love to have you. You get a lot of cool stuff. Let me show you everything here. You're going to get a 50% increase chance, 50 times, 5,000%, because our training really helps people pass the test. Our success rate is much higher than most prop firms. Most prop firms is only 1 out of every 900 traders pass, which is insane. And so we've done a lot of things. To help you improve your test. And then we like to share all of our training. Everything that we do, we're sharing. So lots of good opportunity to see what we do and to learn from us. We're sharing it live. We're going to teach our strategy. The strategy's taught. You also get access to all of our tools. We have quite a few tools inside the members area. And Really looking forward to working with you. We have bonus recordings, our trading community. You can access to our prop firm. We don't allow just anyone to get access to a prop firm, only specific people that we train with, because we want to have a very high success rate, right? So, there's also a prop trading masterclass that's included. So thank you guys for paying attention today. And Sam, thank you for that. I'm really glad that training is going to help you increase your win rate and to help you become a better trading. You know what, Sam? That one piece of info that you got, just take that and run with it. That is, your time was totally validated and well spent today for that trading tip. So thank you for sharing that with me. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Any questions about the training today or any questions about our propathon, we'd love to see you in there. Sign up, join. It's on sale right now. It's on sale. We'd love to see you as part of our community. So I'm going to open it up for questions. What questions do you guys have for me? Do we have any questions? Any questions at all? Thank you, Jacqueline. I am really glad that you enjoyed it. And I'm got a pullback here. We had a couple pullbacks into this level. You see how every time it pulled back, it was a great buying opportunity. Why is that, do you think? Because I have my level here, and we go to a lower time frame every time. That's a great opportunity. So I'm actually looking at adding a buy trade right here. So I'm pulling back up. I'm trading live while you guys are asking me questions. Yes, there are signals in the training, but we try to avoid talking about signals so much because it's an orchestra. It's a high performance vehicle, and signals are not, it's just one piece of like 20 pieces of the puzzle. So if you think you're going to be successful from signals, you're really deluding yourself, because there's 20 other things that you don't know squat about. So if you think that you're going to be successful, you're totally mistaken, right? So Ed, just want to give you a little mindset shift. If you think signals are going to help you, you're probably in for a rude awakening. But yes, we do have them. So what actually am I offering today? Just access to my members area and our propathon. It's called the propathon. You're going to watch us trade live, and it's our education. It's all of our education, all of our training, all of our tools, and basically everything that we do, because it's an orchestra. It's a high performance vehicle. You get the whole thing. Paul, you get access to the members area as long as you're subscribed to the membership. So as long as you want, we have members that have been with us from the beginning. Are there further rules to pass the prop test? Well, Alex, you cannot hold positions over the weekend, right? All right, so I'm going to place my stop loss, and I'll place it below this level because that's a key level, and I'm going to put my take profit right up here. I'm looking to have a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio on this trade. Charlotte, this is $97 a month just for the next few hours, and then price goes back up to full price, which is $119 a month. Paul, there is a monthly fee, and right now that monthly fee is on sale for $97 a month. It's a discount. Its normal price of 119. And so we would love to see you in our Propathon. Jacqueline, when you mention times, can you be specific? So when I was talking about times, I was talking about understanding what a market does at specific times of day. So there's 24 hours in a day, 5-day trading days in a week. So there's a lot of different things that we could be discussing here. So I'll just talk about a couple key ones. One of the key ones here is the open of the New York session. That's a very specific time. That happens at 9:30 a.m. You want to look and see what the market does at that time and just see what patterns you'll find. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. And then also, what happens around lunchtime? Is there a pattern, a lunchtime pattern that you can see develop that you could take advantage of on a daily basis? What if the market did the same thing every day at lunch, right? What if you could find that at 12 o'clock every day, the market did the exact same thing? Wow. What an opportunity for a trading strategy. Okay. Very good. In the evenings, what happens in the evenings? You want to be aware of specific trading opportunities. Okay. So yeah, I'll look the offers available. There's my live trade. Sometimes I like to do that, but here it is. You're going to get our trading strategy. You're going to get access to our live trades. You're going to watch us trade live and pass a prop test. So that means you can follow our trades. We have a swing trading signal. We do a lot of cool stuff. We actually have a report. We have a swing trading report that is included in the membership. And that report would sell for like $1,000. And we include it every single week. We include that report. It's pretty amazing all the stuff you get. So it doesn't matter. You can be a scalper, but if you're a swing trader, so you just over here in our members area, we have swing trade reports. And I'll give you a little sneak peek of this week's report. There's a lot of cool stuff in the report. And every week we share different trade setups, the dollar index. Really, we give you fundamental analysis. We give you some good euro dollar information, pound dollar, New Zealand USD, US yen, USD CAD, a full report, USD Swiss. We have a lot of reports. The S&P 500, for those of you that like the S&P 500, here's our analysis on that. We're noticing this key level here, and this has been holding all week. Remember I said levels are important? Well, look at that. We share it. This was put out on Sunday. It's Tuesday, and that level's still been holding. Imagine that. So that's included. And then we also have all of our masterclass for the prop trading. So this is a 3-session masterclass. We have our robot. We have a trading robot called the Siphon X that we are running on autopilot. You get access to the robot. You get access to all of our tools and training on how to use those tools. Everything that we offer, you get our swing trade signals. These swing trade signals happen right here in the swing trades portion of the community. So if you guys have any other questions, so we just gave a signal today. You get a bonus signal. This just came in an hour ago, and that was Bitcoin long. Bitcoin long was the signal. So there's the stop below there. So there you have it. All right. Well, any other questions, guys? Any other questions? If not, I will close her out, but I would love to see you guys join. The link is there. We'll send out a recording. Yeah, if you sign up, it's $97 a month for as long as you're signed up, and you can cancel anytime. If you try it out and you don't like it, just cancel, and you don't have to keep with it. But a lot of people just stick with us because they love it, and they're becoming successful traders. Which is our goal, is to see traders earn weekly cash flow. That's our goal. So thank you guys for being in the training today. I really appreciate it. Any other questions that you may have, please let me know. And thank you, Charletta. I appreciate the question. And I'm watching this. I got my stop down here. So thinking we might bounce off this trend line again. But it is towards the end of the day. So, when we talk about those daily patterns, a lot of times towards the end of the day, we will know that it might come down a little low. I usually don't trade at this time of day. So there might be another buy opportunity right here for a move up. Okay, well, I didn't see any other questions, so I will let you guys go. But thank you, and have a great, great day. Thank you. We're looking forward to seeing you in the members area.